Afternoon, and welcome to this session on System Center. I realize this is the last session of the day, so really thank you for joining this session. You guys must be really in love with System Center to be here at this hour. Uh, yeah, thank you. I lead the program management team for System Center. So my team works on virtual machine manager, operations manager, service manager, orchestrator, DPM. Uh, so System Center 2016, the new releases that you have been seeing with System Center, SAC, we'll talk about that, as well as System Center 2019 release. All that, my team is responsible for all those releases. As we have a pretty packed agenda for the session today. So I would appreciate if you could, hold your questions towards the end. We will have time for Q&A. So this is what we will go over for the next hour or a little over an hour. We'll talk about the approach that we are taking with management. What's the management strategy that we are taking for data centers as well as for the cloud. Then we'll dive deeper into System Center because that's the focus of this session today. We'll dive deeper into some of the products in the System Center suite. So we'll look at some of the new capabilities coming up in VMM, in SCOM, and then we will also look at some of the cool hybrid scenarios that we have been working on. So that's the agenda. You guys ready for this? Yes. Okay, let's get started. Okay. So the IT environment, as we see around us, is clearly heterogeneous. We see three different trends. The on-premise data centers continue to grow and thrive, and that's where typically System Center has played. And you have, at the same time, you have migrations of applications and workloads happening to the cloud. And while that is happening, you also have cloud-native applications or applications being re-architected to be native to the cloud. So you have this, you clearly have sort of a tension in your organization where you have to essentially now have a heterogeneous environment to deal with. You have existing traditional data centers, you have migration to the cloud happening, and then you have cloud-native applications. Now, with respect to the way this landscape has been evolving, you have, we believe that these three realities, existing data centers, migration, and public cloud, will continue to exist in the foreseeable future. And we are evolving our management tools to be in tune with that. So you have a set of management tools where you have Windows Admin Center, which is clearly focused on managing a single server environment. And then you have right and bang in the middle there, which is System Center, which is what you have been using in your traditional data center environment. And then you have Azure Security and Management, which kind of spans the spectrum all the way from your on-premise data centers and all the way to the cloud. Now, a System Center has traditionally catered to the data center environment, and we stand behind that product. We realize that as your on-premise data centers continue to exist and grow, you need this set of tools to evolve in tune with how your data centers are evolving. And we'll continue to support this. And you see that with System Center 2019 release, which we'll talk about. While we do that, we also realize that you now have assets coming up in the cloud. You have workloads migrating to the cloud, and we are looking to complement your existing on-premise tools to some of the new capabilities in Azure. So we'll talk about some of the Azure monitoring services and how those can augment your on-premise tools. All right, so let's get to some of the big questions that we have out there. So we have Windows Admin Center. Everyone has had some exposure to Windows Admin Center. It's cool, isn't it? It's a reimagination of the inbox server management experience that we have had. So you've had tools like failover cluster manager, Hyper-V manager, server manager. now you have Windows Admin Center, which provides a modern user experience to Windows Server management. But it's clearly focused on a single server or a single cluster management. Or from, if you're talking about hyper-converged infrastructure, you're looking at 2 to 4 node cluster being managed by a Windows Admin Center. Well, where does System Center play? System Center clearly plays in the data center scale. So if you are hydrating a rack of servers with Hyper-V, you're managing a fabric at a large scale. That's where you need System Center and the set of tools that come with it. So you need Virtual Machine Manager, you need SCOM for your monitoring. So there's a clear distinction between where System Center plays from a spectrum of from a scale spectrum point of view, and where Windows Admin Center plays. So we see this as complementary tools. We see that you continue to use System Center for managing data centers at scale, and then when you want to zero in on and troubleshoot a specific node in the cluster or a specific virtual machine, that's where you will get into the Windows Admin Center. All right. I wanted to say thank you. I don't know how many of you guys noticed, but SCOM just recently got a Customer's Choice Award from Gartner for application performance monitoring. Now, that's essentially all of you guys voting for the product that you have been using back in your organizations. So SCOM continues to provide the extensibility, the flexibility that is needed in your data centers. And when combined with services like Application Insights, which provide application performance monitoring, you have a complete stack there, where SCOM offers you infrastructure monitoring for your enterprises, and Application Insights provides you a rich set of capabilities for application performance monitoring. And you see us later down, when we get into the SCOM section, we talk about how SCOM can be augmented to do application performance monitoring by leveraging the capabilities in Azure Application Insights. All right, let's get into a bit deeper into System Center. So these are the areas that we see as focus for System Center investments going forward. So System Center has always been the tool set for managing the data center. We want to continue investing in System Center so that it provides a set of capabilities that you need, and continues to provide a leading tool for your data center management. Now, when it comes to Windows Server management, as new innovations and new capabilities light up in Windows Server, and you say that with Windows Server 2019, I'm sure most of you attended the Windows Server 2019 session. Being the ability to manage those new capabilities of Windows Server at scale, all that we will look to light up in System Center releases, be it with 2019 or be it with subsequent releases. And then the third, to the far right of the screen there, as hybrid becomes more and more reality, and that's essentially, you have to deal with the hybrid environment back in your organizations, we will provide connected experiences with services in Azure. So these are the three areas that we're looking to focus on for the System Center suite of products. All right. So this product, many of you have been using these products for a long period of time, so you know the history much better than even some of us. This just gives a timeline from 2007 onwards, but some of these products have existed even earlier to that. Clearly, it speaks to the maturity of the product. With every release of the System Center suite of products, we've had feedback that all of you have been providing, which has helped us to build on this product and add new capabilities. We've added the product has grown in terms of scalability, reliability, and has had new functionalities with every successive release. So it's clearly become more industrial scale, if you will, over the years. So just a 10-year timeline of the System Center suite of products there. Okay, let's talk about some new stuff which you've been seeing in the last year or so. Okay, so you've heard about long-term servicing channel. Those are LTSC, as we call it. These are so there are two release cadences for System Center. The first one is LTSC, and that's a long-term servicing channel. That's what you have been used to all these years. So you have the current in-market System Center product, which is LTSC, is System Center 2016. And on the Windows Server side, that's Windows Server 2016. LTSC releases of System Center has gone hand in hand with the Windows Server releases. They have a longer support time frame, so you have 5 years of mainstream support, and then you have 5 years of extended support. They're supported for a longer period of time. Earlier this year, we started on the faster release cadence for System Center. And we call that the semi-annual channel release. So we have a new release of System Center coming out every 6 months. It gives us the ability to respond to the feedback that you guys provide through different channels back to us. And so these are new feature releases. We have had the first semi-annual channel release of System Center called 1801, which went out earlier this calendar year. And then we followed that up with 1807 in 6 months following the 1801 release. So we'll continue down that cadence. These are the semi-annual channel releases will continue at a 6 months cadence. These releases, having come in faster, are supported for 18 months. And are, as I said, the new features getting added with every release there. Then on to there's another point that I would like to clarify about SAC releases. Windows Server CB releases are clearly focused on the guest environment, so on the guest operating system and on applications and containers, the new application paradigm. There is no such distinction for System Center releases. So System Center SAC release as well as the LTSC releases are focused on the SDDC, the software-defined data center. So that's one distinction I did want to call out between Windows Server CB releases and System Center SAC releases. And the update rollups, which are essentially purely bug fix releases for System Center 2016, will continue. Okay, so this is just a parade of all the products in the System Center suite. You have Virtual Machine Manager, Config Manager, Operations Manager, Orchestrator, DPM, and Service Manager right there. As part of the 2019 release of System Center, we'll continue to ship the entire suite, right? And we realize that you need this to manage your data centers, and we'll continue shipping all these products as part of 2019 and subsequent releases as well. Okay, now time to get into into specific products of the suite. So in the next half an hour or so, or next hour or so, we'll focus on some of the products. We'll focus on Virtual Machine Manager, and then get into Operations Manager. My colleague Aditya will take us through that. And then we'll also talk about other products in the suite, the DPM Service Manager as well, but focus more on Virtual Machine Manager and SCOM. And then we will look at some of the cool hybrid scenarios that each of these products will get to. Okay, so let's get into Virtual Machine Manager. How many of us use Virtual Machine Manager? Okay, quite a few. Okay, a quick question on releases. How many of us are on System Center 2016? On 1801 or 1807? Okay, a few of us. 2012 R2? Okay, good. All right. Okay, so VMM 2019. So we're continuing to invest in all the areas of VMM. So we'll have, we'll walk into details of each of these areas. But we have new features coming up in compute, storage, networking, and then from a security or roles administration perspective, we have some new capabilities coming in there as well. Okay, time to get into some cool new capabilities that we're adding in VMM in 2019. The first one is storage optimization. Now, a lot of you spoke to us about the need to optimize storage for capacity, right? So let's get into the scenario. This is the scenario that you guys spoke to us about. So you have highly available VMs whose VHDs are stored on cluster shared volumes, CSVs. And as CSVs run out of space over a period of time, either because VHDs grow or you have new VHDs being placed, the CSV runs out of space. What happens then? Well, the VMs halt, and that causes an outage. How many of us relate to that problem? Okay, few of us, thank you. So we have decided to address this problem. And the way we are going to do this is by doing storage optimization based on capacity. So as the CSV runs full and starts hitting the high water mark, VMM will automatically orchestrate dynamic optimization. It will dynamically optimize and migrate the VHD, which is running hot, into another CSV which has enough space. All right, time to get into the first demo. You guys ready for this? Yes. All right, okay. Okay, let's switch screens. Okay, this is your familiar VMM console. And what I have here is a host group. Let's focus on this. Okay, and let's go and look at the properties of this host group right here. And let's go into dynamic optimization. So here's the page of dynamic optimization. You see a couple of new things here. You see this option called automatically migrate virtual hard disk to balance load, okay? And you can specify at what frequency, how many minutes you want to run dynamic optimization. That's a new setting that we introduced. Earlier, it was only compute optimization that we were doing. Now we have storage-based optimization. And you have this new setting here which says disk space and says 50%. Now, 50% I've set it up basically for a demo environment, but essentially you will set it for, let's say 5% of the space. Now, when the CSV starts running full and hits this 5% mark, VHDs will automatically be migrated to another CSV which has enough space. So let's see an example of this. Okay, so I go to this host group, and I go to the cluster and I look at the properties here. And I go into shared volumes. So let me expand this a bit and zoom in. Now you can see that there are two volumes here. One of the volumes, so each of these volumes have 200 GB, as you can see. Now one of the volumes has fallen below the 50% mark, below the 100 GB. So what I'm going to do now is manually trigger the storage optimization. I'm going to but in a real world environment, when you set up dynamic optimization, this will be, you will checkbox on the screen that I showed earlier. So this will happen automatically. For the purpose of this demo, I'm going to manually trigger this. So I have a new option here called optimize disk space. So I'm going to hit that and let's see what this does. Some of these things are just hot off the oven, so in terms of UX, we still have some work ahead of us. But as you can see here, what it's saying is it's going to migrate one of the VHDs for one of the VMs from volume 1 into volume 2. If you turn off dynamic optimization, it will do it on its own. So I hit optimize, and now you can see this VM is updating. And if you go to jobs folder, you will have the dynamic optimizer being run here, and which is migrating the VHD from CSV1 into CSV2 because CSV run, it has hit the high water mark of its capacity. You think that's cool? Okay. Let's move on to the next area. Which is called storage health. So Storage Spaces Direct has been fairly successful in terms of deployments that it has seen. We support deploying S2D clusters and managing S2D clusters in VMM. Now, one of the things, and S2D allows you to go for cheaper storage as opposed to going for expensive storage for your private cloud environments. But one of the things that happens with S2D is, given these are directly attached disk to the servers, this disk can often fail. And so, we got feedback from many of you saying, asking us to provide health of the storage in a VMM environment, right? So here's what we have done. So you can now, in the VMM 2019, you'll be able to see health of your storage, of your private cloud in VMM. And let's say a particular storage pool was in a warning state. So we provide two states. We provide a health state and an operational state. So health state is healthy or a warning condition, or operational state could be your disk is in maintenance mode or is degraded, right? Now, as you see, an administrator can see a storage pool which has a warning in a S2D environment, and he can drill down and look at the logical unit in that storage which has a warning, and also drill down further to the physical disk which have some issue. Okay, I'm going to quickly switch to the demo again and show you the screen where we can look at the storage health. So going to the Fabric pane of the VMM console. And you have a storage pool here, which is S2D on this cluster, which reports healthy status. I'm going to drill down here, and it has all these logical units which report a healthy status right now. Let's go further down and look at some of the physical disks. And now you see some disks have a warning status. Let me zoom out so that you can see. So it reports a warning of the health status, and then further down here, it shows the operational status called maintenance mode. Okay, so this capability, with this capability now, you'll be able to see the health of your storage from within VMM console, and then you can take remedial actions of, you want to yank out a physical disk which is not functioning well, and bring in a fresh disk. Right? Okay, moving on. Okay, upgrading Storage Spaces Direct cluster. You can deploy S2D clusters using VMM. With VMM 1807, as well as with the 2019 release, you will have the capability to upgrade S2D clusters just like you can upgrade a compute cluster. So it will function exactly the same way that a compute cluster upgrade or patching works. So the host will be put in maintenance mode. The VMs will be drained out of that host. The node will be taken out of the cluster, and the OS on that particular node will be upgraded, and you put back that node back into the cluster. And you essentially rinse and repeat it. Now, this works exactly the same as your compute cluster, nothing new there. There's some nuances, like Storage Spaces Direct does storage synchronization between the hosts, between the storage which is connected. And in this case, we will wait for that. Before we evict the next node from the cluster, we'll wait for the storage sync to complete. and do that across all the nodes in the cluster. And the last step is obviously we update the cluster functional level. So clearly, within a single click, you will be able to upgrade or patch your S2D cluster using VMM. OK, moving on to the next capability in VMM, it's VMM roles. We are now introducing a new role in VMM, and let's see what's the need for that. So you had a fabric or delegated administrator role already in VMM, right? And it has all permissions. It has permissions to the virtual machines. It has permissions to the underlying fabric, be it compute, storage, or networking. Now, at the other end of the spectrum, in terms of roles, you had a tenant admin role. A tenant admin role only has administrative permissions on the virtual machines. He has zero visibility into the fabric. A lot of you actually spoke to us and talked about a persona in your organization who administers virtual machines in your private cloud environment, but needs visibility into the fabric as well. So you should be able to look, if a VM is not functioning well, you should be able to look at, OK, what host this VM virtual machine is running on. Is the host running hot? Is there an issue with the storage on, that this VM faces? And you should be able to take immediate remedial action of migrating a virtual machine, right? So we are introducing a new role in VMM 2019. It's called a virtual machine administrator role. This role will have, just like tenant admin, it has all permissions for the virtual machines on your fabric. But it also has some additional permissions, like being able to migrate a virtual machine or migrate the storage of a virtual machine. In addition, he'll have visibility into the fabric. So he will be able to see, OK, what hosts are present in the fabric, where your virtual machines are running. But he'll not be able to perform any administrative actions. He'll not be able to make any changes to the fabric. For that, he has to go back to the fabric administrator role. OK, let's quickly look at a demo of that. So I'm going to the settings tab here. And I'll just walk you through the creation of a new role. I'll create a new user role. Let's call it VM admin 1. Hit next. OK. So you see on your screen here the list of roles that are present in VMM, and there's a new role, virtual machine administrator, which has been added. So I'll select that role. Hit next. I'm going to skip the step of actually adding members here. Let's look at the more important part, scope. So now you can specify the scope of administration of this new role that you're creating. You can either have the permission scoped to a cloud. You can also have give him permissions to some of the host groups which are present in your environment. Now, in this case, I'm going to select the Ignite cloud that we have here. Hit next, and I get to define permissions. So if you see the permission set here, I can now give this role permissions to migrate a virtual machine, migrate the storage of a virtual machine, pause or resume VM, the typical actions that administrator of virtual machines would do. I can give him rights to shut down, start, stop virtual machines. Okay, so this I specified the scope of his administrative domain, and I specified what permissions, what actions can he take. And I go hit next. I'm going to skip through the next couple of steps, and I hit finish. And I now have the new role created, the VM admin. Now, I already had created a virtual machine administrator role called VM admin Ignite. And in the interest of time, I have this VMM console where I have logged in as a user who has this VM admin role. So if you can see at the top of your screen here, it says VM admin ignite. Let me show that here. Okay. So this it's the VM admin. It's a user who has logged in with a VM virtual machine administrator role. As you can see here, for the Ignite Cloud, he's able to see the virtual machines. If you right-click, he can perform different virtual machine actions. So you can migrate storage, you can migrate virtual machines, you can shut down, power off. Now, there's certain other, if I go to this virtual machine, I can't do things like, I didn't give him rights to create a checkpoint or manage checkpoints. Does he get visibility into the fabric? He does. He can now look at some of the hosts here on which the virtual machines, which are the hosts which are within the Ignite Cloud, which have these virtual machines running. Let's say whether let's see whether he can perform any fabric operations. Let's say delete a VM network. So he does not have permissions to the fabric. He just has visibility into the fabric, cannot perform any actions on the fabric. So that's the new VM administrator role for you. Okay. All right, let's move on to the networking area. Now, again, feedback from you guys where you asked us to provide physical network information for Hyper-V host, right? You need this for troubleshooting when you have networking issues in your environment. So we are doing that. We have provided that with VMM 1807, but also all the SAC features accrue to the LTSC release as well. So the features that the new features that have come in VMM 1801 or 1807 would appear in the LTSC release as well, which is VMM 2019. So we provide layer 2 networking layer 2 information for troubleshooting. And we use a protocol called link layer discovery protocol. This is a protocol used by the switches. We listen to this protocol and provide information on which switch a particular Hyper-V host is connected to, what VLAN that particular Hyper-V host is connected to. So you can see that on your screen here now. You have, it provides you VLAN ID. So which VLAN is this Hyper-V host connected to? What's the port on that switch that this host is connected to? So now it is much easier to troubleshoot networking when you run into networking issues in your VMM environment. Another networking feature. If you have, how many of us have deployed software-defined networking with Windows Server 2016 and VMM 2016? Okay, few of us. So we with VMM 2019, we'll provide the ability to configure what is called a L3 gateway. So you have virtual networks in which your virtual machines are running. Now, often there is a scenario where the virtual machine networks are obviously have isolation. So you need ability to connect your virtual machines to a physical network. So you need a gateway, and that's L3 gateway. And we are providing a L3 gateway, the capability to configure an L3 gateway using UI in VMM. Okay, I'll power through a couple of next couple of slides as we want to get to the SCOM area. We are providing the ability to encrypt. So Windows Server 2016 has the ability to provide have encrypted traffic between virtual machines in an SDN environment. We are adding that support in VMM. It's part of 1801 already. Very easy to configure. It's effortless. You specify, and you just checkbox enable encryption when you create a virtual machine subnet and specify the thumbprint of the certificate that you're using. Another capability is the ability to migrate. A lot of our customers are migrating from VMware environment to Hyper-V and Hyper-V and VMM. So towards that, we have an experience which has always been there. We have added new support there for UEFI-based VMs, where you can have secure bootable VMs. So we added that support in VMM 1801. And we also added support for new versions of VMware. So VMware, if you have a VMware 6.5 environment and you're looking to migrate, you can use this capability to convert virtual machines. More with hybrid. Now, what we're looking to do with VMM is augment your VMM environment with some of the hybrid cloud capability. The immediate one that you're looking to address is the ability to patch guest virtual machines in a VMM environment. So Azure has an update management service which we are looking to hook into. So you'll be able to hook your VMM environment to the Azure update management service, create a profile for patching your guest virtual machines, and that using that you can essentially patch virtual machines which are running in your VMM environment. Now we are looking to add this capability in VMM 2019. This is just the template of the kind of integrations that we are looking to add in some of these on-premise products. So we look to do that with the ability to back up your VMs running in a VMM environment to Azure backup. We already have integration with site recovery. We will provide the ability to migrate virtual machines, so have a tie-in with Azure Migrate, using which you can profile and migrate virtual machines from your on-prem environment to the cloud. All right. Okay, so a quick recap. We saw all the new cool new capabilities in VMM. Time to get on to the next product, which is Operations Manager. And Aditya will take us through that.
Thank you, Prasad. Hello, everyone. I am Aditya. I'm a program manager with the Operations Manager team, and I have been involved with a couple of major SCOM releases of the past couple of years, and I am excited and looking forward to SCOM 2019 as well. So let's get into SCOM. So before getting into SCOM, how many of us use SCOM? Wow, that's great. Awesome. So earlier in the session, we saw a slide about System Center Focus, right? So aligning with the System Center Focus, we have been investing across 4 different areas, right? One is hybrid, monitoring experience, fundamentals, and surface, monitoring surface, right? So it's not just focusing only on one area, but we have done a pretty cool features across multiple areas. So we will dive deep into some of these areas. And just to give you a heads up, this is not the complete list of features which we would be introducing in SCOM 2019. So we will go through the holistic list probably at the end of this session, and we can see how that works for you. Yeah. So let's get started. HTML5 dashboard. So how many of us have used SCOM 2012 R2 Silverlight dashboards? Right? So we totally understand the pain associated with those dashboards across multiple aspects. So we totally heard you. And these new dashboards will no longer have any Silverlight dependency. So this is completely Silverlight free. And the entire web console is now totally HTML. And the new dashboards would be on HTML5, right? And one of the major asks we have been hearing is that you guys want to access these web console from various different browsers, right? May it be Edge, Chrome, or IE. Now you guys can access this new web console from various different browsers as well, right? Coming to extensibility, SCOM is known all about extensibility, right? And when we were doing these dashboards, we wanted to make sure that it's not that you are able to use what we provide, but we wanted you to leverage our dashboards and you bring up your own visualizations to light up your dashboard. So what we've done here is we have introduced new REST APIs. Now you can retrieve SCOM data using these REST APIs, and you can render the SCORM data into any HTML visualizations. It may be your own first-party HTML visualization, or it can be your any third-party visualization. So we'll see a couple of examples of how it looks like, right? We also focused a bit on faster resolutions, and when we talk about faster resolutions, we all have been troubleshooting issues with SCORM. But the troubleshooting pattern or the workflow has been in such a way that if you need to get some insights, you need to open a new window, right? You're losing a context on where you are at, and you're opening a new window, you're getting insights, and you're troubleshooting that. But what we have done here is we have introduced a new concept called drill down. Now, when you see some issue, all you have to do is you have to click that issue, and you get all the relevant information with respect to that issue, which will enable you to troubleshoot and root cause your issues faster. We will look into that as well in the demo, right? The another important aspect we have done is we have enabled inline actions. So when you're working on a widget, when you're working in your dashboards, you will be able to take actions right within the focus of your widget. So you need not go somewhere else and open a window to do some actions. So everything would be inline here, right? And the other focus area was to make it operator friendly. So it's not just discovering issues. You would be able to discover issues, you will be able to troubleshoot root cause issues, and you will be also able to remediate and resolve the issues right within the dashboards, right? So let's get into the demo. How many of you are excited for this demo? Yeah, so awesome. Just a minute. All right. So this is how our new web console looks like if some of you did not get a chance to look at the new web console. So it's all completely changed now. The back end is changed, the front end is changed. It's all pretty cool now. So just before going into the demo, I'll walk you through a couple of widgets. So the dashboard you're seeing is a sample server monitoring dashboard. What it essentially enables you is to, get the health of your servers, get the alerts. Let me zoom out a bit. Yeah. And we are capturing a couple of important metrics. For example, if I see this particular widget here, I can quickly see that, on my SQL server and my management server, there's a low memory there, and I need to do something about that, right? And there are different set of widgets capturing different metrics here. But let's see at this cool visualization here. When I was talking about extensibility, this is one of the example of extensibility here. What I've done here is essentially I'm using SCORM REST APIs to get alerts data, and I'm rendering that alerts data into a third-party visualization. So this is a third-party visualization you're seeing here. What it shows is the active alerts representation across 3 types. One is bar graph, pie chart, and spline chart, right? So we're good here. So what we'll do now is we'll try to create dashboards, and we will see how you can troubleshoot your issues faster. Let me go here. Okay, let's create a dashboard quickly. Call it server health, right? So as an operator, what's interesting to me is I want to focus on the health of my servers, right? So let's quickly create a couple of widgets on server health. Have you noticed how simplified the entire authoring experience has been? It's been almost simple 2-3 clicks, right? So let's create another widget for, let's say I want to monitor my operating system. Okay. Let's call it, let's set the columns I want to see. Okay, that's it, right? So I have a dashboard which shows me the server health and OS health. The another interesting cool feature here is these dashboards are completely open layout. Now you can move around your widgets within the dashboard. You can resize them, right? Which was not there earlier, right? So we didn't have this earlier. So you can resize them, move around, right? So this was about creating a dashboard. Now let's see how I can troubleshoot these dashboards, right? So if I can see, there are a couple of servers which are critical. Now, as an operator, I want to know why this is critical, what is causing my server to be critical, and how can I fix these issues, right? So let me click on my agent for one of the server which is critical, right? Now here I have my relationship map, which shows me all the related entities with respect to my server 4. And right here I can see that my C drive is critical, and my agent 4 is critical. And these two entities are causing my health of my server to be critical, right? So at this point in time, I already know what is causing my health of server to be critical, right? And if you come down a bit, you can also see some alerts related to this server, and I can also see the C drive alert, also the agent alert here, right? I want to know more about this alert. I click on this alert. I go into the alerts drill down page. I get more details into the alert. I can see the context. I can see the percentage free space here, right? I can see the knowledge, the company knowledge. I can get more details into the history. I can see the properties of my monitor or the rule which has generated this alert. Now, at this point in time, I know what is causing the health of my server to be critical, and I also know insights into the alert. What is this alert about, right? So let's go back to my server. And this is not only insights about your server, the alert, you also get insights about your performance metrics, right? You can see the last values here. The another interesting thing we added here is we made sure you are able to view the effective configuration of a particular server. You want to see what is the rule or monitor configured for my server 4, right? So what we have done here is, by default, we have disabled the load of effective configuration. But once you load it, you can see the configuration. So for example, this particular rule, the default values are this, and the configuration for this server is also this. In this case, it's the same, and that's the reason we are seeing the same. But in some scenario, if the effective configuration is different, you can find it out here, and you can realize what is causing an unrelevant alert or something, right? So we have done that. The next thing to look at is how are the different metrics related to this server performing, right? I can see the memory, the logical disk, the network, the process, all the related metrics plot right within the same page here, right? Right, I can see the system, I can see the processor information, how my network is performing. So with this, you can also do a proactive monitoring, where if you see something might go wrong down the line, you can address that as well. Right? It's not just about getting insights, as we discussed earlier. You can also remediate your task right from within the task here. Right? So this is how you get all the insights what you need right within your context of your dashboard, and that will enable you to troubleshoot your issues faster. So what do you think about that? Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Awesome. So let's quickly get into the next important investment we did, which is notifications. How many of us use COM notifications? Cool. Cool. What we realized here is the notifications, email, SMS, or command channel, in some of the customer scenarios, these are the first touch point where operators respond to an issue based on an email. Right? And it is very important for us, for administrators, to make sure operators are getting effective information about the issue through that email, right? It's, if you do not communicate the issue better through email, then it might take more time for them to decode what is the issue and then resolve the issue, right? So what we have done is, we have done a couple of investments here for different personas. When we talk about administrator, we wanted to enable administrator to build effective criteria. So what we are doing here is we are enabling OR and exclude operations in criteria. So now admin can use these operations while building your criteria. And what we have also done is you will be able to create HTML emails now. You can use your own color coding. You want to message something in a different format, you will be able to do that. So out of the box, we will have a default template, but you need not stick with that. You can get rid of that, use your own HTML content, and define your own email, right? So once the criteria is defined, the email is defined, operators get an email. This is one such example how the new template will look like, HTML template will look like. Now, the interesting thing what here is we have added, just now we saw different drill down links. We have added those links right into your email. All operator has to do is, in the email, he has to click those links. He will get those detailed insights, and that will help them troubleshoot the issues faster. And then they can resolve or remediate the issues right within the dashboards, right? So let's see a quick demo of this. Just a second. Yeah. All right. So this is my notification channel. I have already created a notification channel. And if we come to the formatting, let me zoom in. All right. If we come to the formatting, yeah, you see this new option, enable HTML formatting. By default, this is enable, and the body content you see is a default template. So if you do not want to use HTML email, you can simply uncheck this and continue using the existing behavior, right? So what this enables is you can define your own HTML content. And the cool thing here is you can also preview your HTML content right here. So you see the preview button here. You can see how this would look. So this is a sample preview button, but once you put your own content, you will be able to preview it much better. Yeah. So this is how the authoring or the configuration looks like. So let's see how the email looks like. Right. So this is one of the sample email. One of the alert I got is, the logical disk free space is low, right? So I got interesting details. By default, what you see is if it's a critical alert, you'll see the banner as red. If it's a warning, you see yellow. If it's information, you see a blue, just to highlight the issue right up front in the email, right? So now what you can do is, all you have to do is to debug or troubleshoot this issue more, all you have to do is you click this link. You will launch into the drill down pages which we saw earlier, and you'll be able to see more details into the relationship map, more details into my alert, more details into my configuration, and also more details into the performance of the particular source which generated this alert, right? So this way, once this is done, I can close the alert right within the dashboard itself, right? Yeah. So let's talk about the next interesting feature, right? Alert management. So we all know when an alert generating monitor turns critical, we get an alert, right? Now this is fine. And when alert is generated, operators usually work on this alert and close the alert. But an alert generated by monitor was not supposed to be closed, right? So what usually happens here is when an alert is closed, we do not have an alert in the system, right? But the monitor is still unhealthy. What this essentially causes us is, until the monitor turns back healthy and turns back unhealthy, we will never have an alert during that period, right? So how many of us have been in this situation, right? Yeah, most of us, right? So what we have done is we wanted to fix this problem. So what we are doing this is, when we have an alert, and when operator tries to close this alert, we do verify if the corresponding monitor is still unhealthy. If it is still unhealthy, we do not allow the closure of an alert. We give an error to the operator saying that the corresponding monitor is still unhealthy, and we cannot close it at this moment. The other interesting aspect, what we are doing here is, we have also enabled a new dashboard where you can see all such alerts which have been tried to be closed but couldn't close because of the monitor being unhealthy, right? This way you can get a holistic view of such alerts, and just in case you want to forcefully close an alert for some reason, you'll be able to do that from that dashboard. We'll quickly see the demo of that as well. All right, so let me close this. So we have an alert logical disk space, right? So let me try closing this. So I already talked about inline actions, so you'll see them now. So this is a widget. You have a set of inline actions for this particular alert widget, right? So let's change the resolution state of this alert. So let me change it to close. Let me give a comment. And let me save. You see, we're getting an error saying that the corresponding monitor is still unhealthy and the alert cannot be closed, right? So this way, we are making sure that you do not land up in that situation anymore. And this is the new dashboard which will show all such kind of alerts. And in case you want to forcefully close that alert, we have created another inline action which will enable you to reset the corresponding monitor. You can select an alert and reset that monitor. That way, the alert goes away and the health restarts from there, right? So this way, you will not land up in that scenario. Yeah. Also, in Linux and Unix monitorings, we have been doing a couple of enhancements, interesting enhancements, actually. One of the scenarios we have been hearing is a management server which is monitoring your Unix and Linux agents. Due to some monthly patch scenario goes down, right? Now what happens is all these Linux agents fail over to new management server. During this duration, all the alerts corresponding to these Linux agents are again recreated, which again causes duplicate tickets, which is kind of a pain for all of us, right? So what we have done here is we have added an intelligent design here, which kind of maintains or keep tracks of the state of your alert and the health of agents even in the failover scenario, and make sure no new alerts and no tickets are generated, right? So this is what we call enhanced Unix Linux alerting in failover scenarios, right? The other scenario is updates and recommendations for Linux workloads. What you have done is we already have updates and recommendations workflow. What we have done here is we have enabled recommendations for Linux workloads as well as third-party management pack workloads to light up in that workflow. So with this, in that single view, you will be able to see recommendations for all workloads irrespective of the platform. So if you can see in the screenshot, there's a recommendation for JBoss, Tomcat, and some partner MPs as well, right? So the other scenario is Linux log file monitoring. So what we have done here is we have enhanced your ability to not only do some basic log file monitoring in Linux, but also expand or extend your monitoring to monitor any log file you want, right? And it is not limited to only log files. You can also monitor something like your CPU usage in Docker, right? If you want to monitor your CPU usage of a container in Docker, you can write a plugin which monitors or reads your data from dstat, and you can process the data and generate an alert in SCOM, right? So it's not only limited to logs. It can be done with multiple sources, right? So these are the various enhancements in Linux. All right, some of the critical bug fixes. Application performance monitoring. I think everybody is aware of this. Yeah, so the good news is we are ready with the fix. We will be shipping this in UR6 of 2016 and SCOM 2019 as well, right? So, and the other issue is the schedule maintenance mode with SQL always on, which was not working as expected. So even that is fixed and will go into the new product releases, right? So let's quickly jump into some of the hybrid scenarios, right? Okay. Yeah. So we have enabled a service map integration earlier. What it essentially does is service map, you are already aware, right, which kind of maps all your dependencies between your servers. With this integration, what we can do is we get those dependency maps down to SCOM, and we also overlay the health of your servers on top of the dependency maps, right? So this way, you will be able to automatically map your distributed applications with SCOM health as well. So this is one of the scenario, and this is how it looks. So the first image is how it looks in Azure. The second image is how it looks in SCOM. You can see the health of SCOM overlaid in the image as well, right? So let's jump into Azure Management Pack. How many of us have used Azure Management Pack? Okay, few of us, right? So what we are doing here is, the beauty of Azure Management Pack is you're not only able to monitor your on-premise data centers with SCOM now, you're also able to monitor your Azure assets right from within the SCOM, right? So these are some of the resources we do monitor from SCOM, right from SCOM, right? Let's jump into a demo, and I'll walk you through the scenario in the demo. All right. So what essentially you need to do is you need to configure your Azure subscription. And what we will do is we will discover all the different resources in that subscription, and we will show you the discovered resources along with the different instance types. So these are the different discovered resources in the particular subscription I have configured and the different instances. Now, once the resources are discovered, what we need to define is we need to define the monitoring for that resources. We need to say what I need to monitor for the discovered resources, right? So that you can do by this, in this wizard, by defining, okay, I can say I'm interested in disk read operations sec, and you can say collect this data and also generate an alert for this data, right? Now, there are two ways of alerting with Azure Management Pack. You can define your alerting in this wizard here, or the alerts generated in Azure metric alerts, you can get those alerts right within the SCOM as well, right? So let's see. So this is all about the authoring. Let me walk you through how it looks like, right? So all I've done here is quickly created a new dashboard in HTML5 for Azure monitoring. And I have 2 VMs in my Azure subscription and 1 application in Application Insights. So I can see there is some health associated with my VMs and my Application Insights. So this health is defined by the alerts associated on top of these resources. So if I click into one of my VM, I can see I have 2 alerts. And these alerts are driving the health of my VM in SCOM. And I can drill down here to know more about my alert in Azure. It essentially says the CPU percentage for this machine, this VM is greater than 90%. I get all the knowledge, the same scenario we have done in HTML5 demo, right? And I can also look at my performance metrics. I'm not only getting alerts from SCOM, I'm also collecting performance metrics for my VM and my applications as well, right? So you can see these are the different performance metrics for my VM which are being collected and the appropriate plot, right? So likewise, let's see how my application is doing. So this is the application which is being monitored by Application Insights, and I'm able to see the alerts with respect to that application as well as the performance data of that application in SCOM. So let's look at that. Right, so these are the alerts associated with that application, which says my server requests are greater and there are like failed requests, and not only alerts, but also my performance metrics with respect to this application, right? So you can see the exceptions and the server requests plotted for you, right? So this is a powerful scenario where you are able to monitor your Azure assets right from within the SCOM as well, right? So this is about Azure MP. And let me go back. So let's see, as I mentioned, so we have done a lot of investments across different areas. And as we go through these slides, you can see the features which we have not covered earlier as well, like the enhanced certificate validation, Linux log rotation, right, enable, disable APM component. And likewise for fundamentals, support for SQL Server, disable interactive logon, and monitoring surface. Like I said, we are enabling management packs for the latest application servers. You will be able to monitor latest to Linux distros. And the interesting thing is, in APM, we have enabled the client-side monitoring as well for, to work on Chrome and Edge browsers as well. So this is an overview of SCOM investments of SCOM 2016. So with this, I'd like to hand it over to Prasad. Yeah.
Thanks, Aditya. All right, so what Aditya showed us with the Azure Management Pack demo is you can now augment your on-premises SCOM tool use it with Azure MP, and you can monitor your assets in the cloud. Okay, let's move on to the next product, which is DPM. How many of us on Data Protection Manager? Okay, few of us. All right. So DPM, you're all familiar with. With respect to the 2019 release, these are the things that we are focusing on. Clearly, support for Windows Server 2019 and SQL Server 2017. That's coming in DPM 2019. A lot of customers spoke to us about backing up VMware VMs to tape for long-term retention. So we will be adding that capability in DPM 2019. Then we invested a lot in modern backup storage. This was using the new resilient file system in Windows Server, which allowed the ability to reduce the storage requirement for your backups. This capability went out in 2016. We further enhanced it to support VMware VMs back to MBS storage, modern backup storage in the 1801 release of DPM. However, we do realize from customer feedback that we need to essentially increase the reliability of backups with respect to using the modern backup storage. So we're putting a concerted effort in the DPM area, in the DPM product, to increase reliability, decrease the latency of backups that some of you are experiencing. And then we are also looking to increase the flexibility of being able to. DPM has an integration with Azure Backup, as you all know. So you can use Azure Backup for long-term retention and disk backup for short-term retention. We're looking to increase the flexibility of recovering from Azure. So if you lose your DPM DB, which has the metadata of your recovery points in your on-prem DPM, you will still be able to, but you have backed up to Azure, you'll still be able to do recoveries from the restore points in Azure. Right? Okay, here's another example of augmenting DPM for the hybrid scenario. So if you connect DPM to your Azure subscription, all the data, and you're pushing data from be it your DPM server or you're using, let's say, Microsoft Azure Backup Server, MAP server, you can push all the log data from your on-prem DPM server into Azure storage. And using that collected data, you can do rich reporting. So you can answer, through those reports, you can answer questions like, okay, what's the amount of storage that is consumed? How many backups have failed? And you can do this across your DPM server. So if you have multiple DPM servers, you can essentially connect all those to Azure Backup, collect all this data, and do rich reporting on top of that. You can also connect it to log analytics and do alerting. So if a backup job failed, you need to get alerted about that failed backup job. You can do that by pushing the data into log analytics and do alerting on top of that. So another scenario of hybrid of an on-prem product, DPM being augmented with cloud capabilities. Config Manager, very quick comment there. There have been dedicated sessions for Config Manager. That's What's New Config Manager session, which is there. From a data center perspective, Config Manager will continue to be part of the System Center suite and will be available to you as you license System Center. It will support all the current patching scenarios which are enabled for servers and virtual machines. While we say that, I also want to point out the capabilities related to configuration management which are coming up in Azure. So we have configuration management in Azure. And the ability to update, basically do patching and set patching profiles using the update management service in Azure. So we would definitely encourage you to look at some of the corresponding capabilities coming up in Azure. Orchestrator, another one of the System Center suite, again will continue to be part of System Center 2019. So long-term support for that is assured. With respect to Systems Orchestrator 2019, we'll be adding 64-bit support for Orchestrator, as well as PowerShell v4, one of the two of the main feedback that we heard from customers for Orchestrator. And then also add support for SQL 2070. While I say that, also wanted to point out the automation capabilities in Azure. So there's Azure automation, of course. There's Azure functions which allow you to automate both in a hybrid environment or with on-premise workloads, as well as with your resources in the cloud. Service Manager, again, will be part of the 2019 System Center suite. Couple of changes that we're doing to Service Manager. Improved UI responsiveness with respect to there are issues with respect to high memory utilization being caused in certain scenarios. We are addressing that. There is the AD connector experience with respect to connecting to a specific domain controller that we have addressed, and of course SQL 2017 support. Again, I want to point out service management related capabilities coming up in Azure. There's a service catalog, Azure policy under the Azure governance umbrella, which you can look to leverage for your service management when you have adopted Azure. And with respect, and there's a rich set of partner solutions on top of Service Manager, which continue to exist, and those are still available to you for use. Okay, so as I said at the beginning of this session, the product System Center suite of products have existed for a long time and most of these products are platforms, and there are a rich set of partner capabilities and solutions which are available, and they continue to exist. We'll continue to support the partner ecosystem so that these partner solutions are available for you to use. Okay, quick comment on the upgrade paths with respect to 2019 and the next SAC release. So from 2016, obviously, you can upgrade to 2019, as well as you can upgrade from System Center 2016 to the next SAC release, which will come up in the first quarter of next calendar year. And you can also upgrade to 1801 and move that way to the semi-annual channel release. So these are the upgrade paths that we will look to support. We have a survey out. We have a booth. Please visit the booth. We will love to interact with you. There's a survey. We really want to hear from you. So please, the URL is very simple to remember, aka.ms/systemcentersurvey. We want to hear your feedback. You have deep experience on these products. We respect that experience, and we want to hear your feedback so that we invest in the right areas in this suite of products. So continue to share your feedback with us, okay? And please do complete the evaluation. Took a little longer than I expected to complete this session, but we can take questions now. Thank you.